another special guest that we have on here. He is a wellness coach and workout coach as well. So I just want to invite more of these wellness coaches to deliver more. Um, there we go. Is it working? Do we have Coach Wells on the line? Hello, 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 hello. Hi, hi, hi. Stay tuned. I have hello from Australia. Hello, hello, hello. So I have Coach Wells. Hello, hello,
We did
hello.
it.
Finally. Right on, right on. Welcome, Coach
Thanks for
Wells.
having me. Good to be here. I'm excited to do this. This is awesome. Of course.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so I was just telling the audience that like we can talk about wellness and how
Yeah.
we can help people with recovery and being better in their wellness. And I know you help a lot of people to excel in wellness and just heal and to
Yeah.
gain more strength.
Thanks so much
Welcome,
for
Coach
having me.
Wells.
I wanted to make sure that I'm able to deliver some value to your amazing audience. So please let me know. Maybe there's one or two or three primary questions that you get a lot that maybe I can share what has worked for myself and the people that we serve as well. So yeah, just I want to make sure again that we're able to hit some really solid points and deliver some value. So cool.
For sure, for sure. So what's the one biggest tip you would give to people who are trying to get healthy or get into like the gym or like just to the
Yeah.
newbies,
Yeah.
the newbies, how do they start, right?
So to make sure I heard you correctly, what's a tip for new people who are trying to get into the gym specifically? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, first, Ben, it starts with having clarity. Again, this is based off of my observation. It's having clarity on why you're going to the gym in the first place. I found that if you
Yeah.
don't know where you're going, any road will get you there, right? So if you don't
Mm,
know why you're going to the gym in the first place, but more importantly, you don't know like the root reason why. So it's one thing to say I'm going to the gym to lose weight, but it's another thing to say I'm going to the gym so that I can be useful for my grandchildren, for my nieces, for my children,
mm,
right? Like they're kind of the same thing, but one has way more weight than the other. And so once you have an idea and you have been able to connect your core values to the real reason as to why you're going to the gym in the first place, it makes it easier to go, I found. And then once you have that, you got to put it in the schedule and then just honor the schedule as much as possible. I think that where a lot of people run into bottlenecks or just issues getting into the gym primarily comes from uh, like just life being busy and not having the time. But in reality, we all have the same amount of hours in a day, and we just have to make the time. Like my workouts are at 6 a.m. I'm up at 4:45 to get my reading in. I'm at the gym at 6 because otherwise I can sit there and lie to myself all day, Ben, and but I'll never make it. I can sleep in and say, "Oh, I'll do it later," but it won't happen because something's going to come up. Dog, construction, the little one needs something. I got to be there for my partner, whatever. So, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So like really discovering the deep why, the root why, like why we need to go in instead of just like, oh, I want to lose weight, I want to lose fat. Like that's not good enough. We have to get deeper. It's like who are we doing it? Like why
Yep,
are we doing it,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
Amazing. So some of the audience is saying like if they have like probably
Hmm.
chronic issues, pain and like um just 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 pain or like some conditions, like how would you start them in when they're feeling so much pain already and but they know they need to get to that gym or to lose some weight, like how what advice do you
Hmm.
have for these people, like if they're going through these pain, but like how did you go over that hump even if they know that deep why is like I know I
Yeah.
need to for my health, but I have so much pain and
Yeah.
inflammation
Another
happening.
great question. One of my favorite sayings, I think this is, I can't remember who said this, but one of my favorite sayings, Ben, is that the quality of our lives is determined by the quality of the questions that we ask ourselves. And one of my favorite questions that I try to challenge myself with and our clients with is that, am I in pain because I'm not working out, or am I not working out because I'm in pain? Which one is it? Right? And normally
Okay.
9 times out of
Yeah.
10, just based off of just like life experience and wisdom, we're able to like usually come to the answer that like an honest answer. And if you're still struggling with that, that's where you've got like, amazing practitioners like yourself to help kind of like sift through that. But it's a powerful question to consider and chew on and digest. Is like, which one is it? And so for those who have
Mm.
chronic illness, it's like, okay, well, how did I get here? Was I born with it? Was it something that was a byproduct of the decisions that I made, et cetera? And then it's like, okay, cool. Like, where can I start? Right? Again, we got to go back to the why. Why do we want to get healthy or get rid of or really mitigate this condition? And once we have clarity on that why, we go to, okay, can I find this information in a book? Can I find a trusted book? Can I find this information in maybe my own knowledge based off of things that I already know? Or do I need to reach out to a professional or a coach to help me acquire the skills necessary to do that? Everyone needs coaches. Coaches have coaches. I have coaches for everything. I have a fitness coach. I've got
That's
a
right.
business coach. I've got coaches for everything. And so, yeah, so said in another way, Ben, it's just going to come down to, again, starting with the why. Why is it important for you to make the change and mitigate this condition? And then once you've discovered that and you feel deeply connected to that, it's, okay, where do I go from now? Where's the low-hanging fruit? Can I get it from a book? Do I have maybe the wisdom that I trust in myself based off of like anecdotal evidence, or do I need to reach out and have a discussion with a coach?
Got it. Got it. So what's a beginner like kind of exercise would you suggest for some people like that? Like when they go in, they don't have anything and they
Yeah,
know they need to be there.
yeah. I think this is a challenging one because the longer I'm in this industry, Ben, the more the answer becomes it depends, right? And it depends. It depends on like, there is no one size fits all. It depends on how your low back is, how your posture is, how your knees are. Do you have any joint conditions, heart conditions, etc.? But to give you, I think, a pretty safe answer, it would start with just hitting, 6 to 7 to 8K, 8,000, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 steps a day. Okay. If you're not getting that, something
Mm.
that I like to do is go to the gym and try to hit 4,000 steps by 10 a.m., by 9 a.m. So maybe that means you're just going to the gym and you're just walking on the treadmill to get to that 4,000. Because if you knock out half or 60% of your allotted or your targeted steps for the day, it makes it a lot easier to hit that goal. So that's a really, really good, I think, way to initiate momentum. Because one thing that tends to breed more success and motivation is just proof, achievement, basically. So if you go in and you walk and you do your steps and you hit the treadmill, like that's very motivating. It's very contagious and it can bleed into other things. As far as like resistance training, which is going to be very good for overall maintaining musculoskeletal strength and bone density, and right. Again, I'm going to highly recommend that. I always recommend consulting with someone to get a good base and maybe a quick assessment as to where you are. But there's some good sources out there. Again, we've got practitioners like yourself, myself, who put out content. Like I'm really big on owning the tempo of your movement, like not speeding
Mm.
through and like taking your time and getting your bang for your buck, owning the bottom of that movement, whether it's a push up or a squat, and then coming back up and just being very consistent and right, taking your time. But at the end of the day, Ben, I believe that slow equals smooth and smooth equals fast. And where sometimes,
So it's
yeah,
not, yeah. So it's not about the weight that like you
no,
go right
absolutely
in.
not. And that's where a lot of people, myself included, at one point in time in the past, we get it mixed up. It's like, oh, I just got to go in and throw some heavy weight on and bang out speed and get my heart rate up. When at the end of the day, the mind, the spirit, the body is not ready for that type of like that intensity. And so if we can if we're willing to go slow, maybe humble ourselves a little bit, and again, work with a trusted system, structure, and support, we'll find some pretty, most importantly, solid, sustainable success, I feel.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So why would you say like steps is so important just for someone to hit those like minimum 4 to 5K? Like, why is that like important for just
Yeah,
anyone to have?
because, yeah, great question. I mean, at the end of the day, it's cardiovascular health that we tend to miss out on as we, just evolve as a society and get further and further away of like how our ancestors hunted and gathered and they were always moving.
Uh,
Our like genetic makeup is still pretty close to the same. Like it's pretty much spot on for the most
mm,
part, not exactly. And so the more we get away from that, the more the chronic illnesses, the disabilities tend to increase.
mm,
And so the gym, protein powders, multivitamins, they're all supplemental variables. We're supplementing with getting steps in, with taking vitamins, because we're not doing it regularly as human beings as we're designed to do it, as we're designed to do. And so since we're not doing it, our body's like, all right, we don't need this, let's shut that down. Let's shut that off. We don't need to build strength here because we're just sitting and doing this, or this. And we got, we got to
mm,
pay bills and we got to get the job done and feed our families, etc. But the steps is one of the biggest wins because it's just like, I believe that motion is lotion, movement is medicine. And so if you could just
mm.
walk and hit some steps, you're going to put yourself in a better position metabolically, just to overall, again, heart health, your cardiovascular, cognitively. There's some really good research around how it supports good overall cognition as we age. So that's a quick, short-winded answer as to why getting steps in are so important. It's a pretty big bang. I think it's very underrated for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So like just a normal human being movement, like babies grow up, the first thing we learn is to walk, and it should be kept through from 0 to 90. Like we should be able to just get the steps in, no matter what age you are. If you don't know how to lift weights, like steps, like Coach Wells has said, like it's so important and so crucial that we forget and we run like we're so far away from
Mhm.
it that most of the time we just like don't even acknowledge that we don't even have enough
No.
steps in our day-to-day lives.
Well said.
It's
Very well said.
amazing.
And just to kind of like piggyback real quick, if I may, on that point, it's a great point.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
like if you look at the development of a child, it's like, holy cow, look how deep they're squatting. Look at how well they're crawling. Look at their posture. Look at their like just interest in wanting to explore and discover and play. And like, if you look at some of the most intelligent animals, right, out there, they all play. Like some of the smartest animals,
Mm,
they prioritize play. And it's something that we like, again, as we get older, because of just, the day and age that we live in, we lose those things. And so if we can just put ourselves in a position to supplement at the very least, we're crushing it. We're doing well. So yeah.
just play, just get out and
Yeah, just
just have
move. Get some
fun.
sun. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. When you mentioned about the squat and how deep the squat is, like, can you tell us a little bit more about like what do you mean by deep
hmm
squats? Like what exactly are we looking for in the squat? And like, is squat that important for
Yeah.
everybody? Like, can you tell a little
Yeah. I'm
bit
trying to
more
think of
about
a way
that?
to make this without going down the rabbit hole, because this is we could go a whole, we could spend hours on this conversation, but I think the shortest answer that I can give on the importance of a squat is just, again, it's simple as like, if you don't use it, you lose it. So if you don't use the range of mobility and your ability to flex your joints and extend them, when you stop revisiting those positions, you lose, like you don't get the lymphatic fluid in that area, the blood, the water in those areas. And so again, like the fascia, the muscle, it just becomes dehydrated. And then like, I'm getting old, I'm 30, 25, like maybe, or maybe you just haven't like been in that position and forever. And so again, we're not getting vitality and just fluidity in those areas. And so that's why if you can at least get to the point where when you're squatting, you're doing what I call a tibial and torsial slant, parallel slant, right? You're getting down. So if we're standing up straight and this is my butt and these are my knees, right? We get to the point where the butt goes out and my torso and my tibia, which is basically the bottom, it's the bone that connects the knee, so in between the knee and the ankle. If we can get that slant and your femur, right, the quads are parallel to the ground, you're doing pretty good than like most people. But yeah,
90%
yeah, spot on. But if you can also work towards just getting your butt to the ground, like your glutes to your heels, and maybe just like work on just sitting down there here and there throughout the day, and again, just playing when you can before you go to bed, whatever. It's just going to pay back amazing dividends as you get older, because again, you'll be able to do something as simple as getting up and down off of the ground, which requires some deep flexion, right, and some health in those areas, and that's like the inability to get up from the ground is one of the biggest things that just the older population tends to lose, and it contributes to just more dysfunction and disability, etc. So if you can nail a deep squat or just again a parallel squat where your femur's parallel, it's just going to contribute again to your confidence, ability, strength to get up and down off of the ground, which is probably one of the most important skills to have as we age, for sure.
That's amazing. So for those who can't picture it, it's kind of like imagine playing down on the ground, playing with sand, I'm guessing, right? Just squatting and just like playing with sand with your hands. And at that level, if your hands can touch the sand while you're just squatting, that's around the range where you should
Yep.
be because we're playing, right? So like just picture that for those who can't like imagine it. Like look at a kid, how do they play with sand? How do they sit and kind of still on their feet without the bum touching the ground? That's like a good
Right.
squat, right? So like that's imagine that and you can
Absolutely.
practice that, guys. And you mentioned about like lymphatic fluid. So like can you touch a little bit about that? Like because a lot of people hear about, oh, I have a lymphatic node or they're stuck or like it's getting clogged. Like why is it so important that our movement is helping this lymphatic? Like why
Yeah.
why do we need to
Yeah,
care about
I
it?
think it's important to consider because one way to look at your lymphatic system is it's like the waste removal system in your body. And so if you're not
Mm,
so as I mentioned, movement is medicine, and motion is lotion. And if you're not moving, you're not encouraging our bodies to just flush and circulate, right? And so if you're not flushing and circulating, we're not encouraging the lymphatic system to do what it's designed to do. And that, of course, in combination of like staying hydrated, drinking filtrated water, eating clean, whole foods, etc. You do those two in combination, movement and just having a really, really good source of nutrition and vitality. It puts you in a position to continue to have a clean system and allow it to filtrate and do its thing. And again, one of the most powerful ways you can do that is by moving regularly. So walking is going to help with that. But the big one is getting up and down off the ground and working on that squat. That's one of the big ones for sure.
just up
Up and
and
down,
down,
up and
just
down.
up and down,
Yeah, like
just
if
up
you
and
did
down.
that, so I'll give you an example. I have a probably, I don't know, handful of clients who have come to me with knee issues. Okay, and what
Mm,
I have found, because I've had all the knee issues as well, what I found with most times with knee issues in terms of knee pain and dysfunction, etc. A lot of times what can happen is you've got muscle groups that are turned off and muscle groups that are overworked. And a lot of times the muscle groups that are turned off, they're turned off because we're not using them. We're sitting on our butts all day, etc. So I'll give someone like a wall squat, doing a wall sit rather, for 45 seconds, 2, 3 times a day. And what you're doing is we're giving the body an opportunity to re-engage and turn on glutes, hamstrings, etc., that weren't firing before, and voila, most 9 times out of 10, there's a difference. The knee pain goes from a 7 to like a 4 or 3 after 1, 2, or 3 times of doing that. Now, again, I'd highly recommend that if you're going to do something like that, talk to someone like Ben or someone who you trust is going to allow you to actually have proper form, posture looks good, etc. But where I'm going with this is you're hitting two birds. You're accomplishing two things. You're turning on the proper muscle groups so that they can fire properly, but you're also flushing the system. You're putting yourself in a position to again encourage fluidity and circulation in the body, so that everything is getting what it needs to thrive.
Do it
Do
safe,
it
guys.
safe.
Do it safe. But the main point is like you do it safe, but it's still like knee pain can be counteract with reactivating some things that we never use or we haven't used
Sure.
for a long time, and it should help like a lot of the stuff that like is causing the pain that we think like, oh, we shouldn't move, or oh, like we should not touch it at all, but it's actually the other way around. If we do certain movements like simple like play, squatting, and all this can reactivate it our other system so that the knee pain or the pain that you're going through right now will decrease because moving,
Exactly.
we're using it again. So what you don't move kind of just
Yeah, you
gets
lose
out
it.
of place.
Absolutely. Well said, Ben.
It's amazing, amazing. Thank you, Coach Jay. So just to summarize, to go over a little bit what Coach Wells has taught us is this walk, move like at least four to five
Yeah.
thousand steps, right? And then do squats like normal squats, like play like a kid, like on the ground with your butt not touching the ground, just normal up
Yeah.
and down. And then movement is lotion, like you said. Like if you have pains, if you knee pains, all kinds of pains, just try to move, like from walking, from squatting, and have fun. And then through that, our lymphatic fluids will be moving in our whole body so that we get healthier. Like Coach Walter said, like we are
Mhm.
it's our trash system. Imagine like the junk system in our whole body is stuck, you know? By moving, we're taking out the trash. We're taking out the garbage chunk. So why not do all that, right? Is
You
there
nailed it.
anything I missed? Like
You nailed
just
it.
to
I'm trying
want
to I'm trying to hold back because like you're touching on these points. I don't want to deep
to
dive on more on all of them, but like we nailed it. We did good. You covered everything. But yeah, you're spot on. Yep.
Thank you, Coach Charles. Oh, we'll definitely have another round because I've seen all these amazing comments. People are saying, "Oh, this is a great one," while listening to going to
Yeah.
the gym. These are like amazing tips. Thank you, Coach Charles. That like you're giving us a lot of our audience a lot of simple knowledge that's practical, where anyone, any age, like from 0 to 70, they can
Yeah.
still walk, you can still move, you can still do like any kind of squat, going down and up and down. Then all those, do it safe, dude.
Please.
You know, do it safe. Find
Please. Yeah.
someone you trust, right?
Yeah.
Thank you,
If I
thank
may,
you.
I want to leave with one thing. And first off, thank you all.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely.
First
Please
off,
do.
Ben, thank you for your time and allow me to share some of my experiences with your community and everyone who's watching this recording or who's on here live. Thank you for your time. I know how important that resource is, right? Our time. So thank you for being here. But I'll leave you with one thing that I've been really, really challenging myself with over the past year, and it's revisiting my definition of fitness. All right. I want to invite
Mm,
everyone to consider
yeah.
what is your definition of fitness, because when you know what that is, it makes discovering what your deep reason why is, and that's like that again. That's the foundation. That's the thing that will set everything up for sustainable success. So I'll share with you quickly. I decided over the past year that my new definition of fitness is to be useful, and what I mean by that, is, for
Useful.
example, is like when I'm not 75 and my grandchild goes running out the door and I'm the only one sitting there, I'm going to be able to get up off the chair and run after that little one, right? Or if we're at the airport and we're with family members and someone needs help with their luggage, I'm going to be ready to rock to grab and carry 5 pieces of luggage, right? Yeah. For me, it's just all about useful. How can I be useful for my family, for society, period. So I would just invite everyone to consider what is your definition of fitness, and
Mhm.
remember that the overall encompassing definition of fitness can sometimes be something that we take on that we don't have to, right? So spend some time on that. So thank you again for having me, Ben. This was awesome. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate
my
your
pleasure.
time. Thank you again. Hope
Yep.
everyone's
All right,
enjoy
guys.
it.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a great one.